Sexual predators work very hard at this one thing. In our training on child abuse prevention, we talked about the fact that in our mind sometimes we can get a picture of a child sexual offender as someone who's just kind of creepy looking with greasy hair, wearing a trench coat. But that's not the case. Remember that typical child abusers have this profile. 77% of them are married. 93% of them say that they're religious. 69% of them work. The majority of them have college degrees. And most of them don't have a criminal record, primarily because they haven't been caught yet. Sexual predators work very hard to be a likable and respected member of a church. Because if they're liked and respected, they earn the trust of adults. And once they've earned the trust of adults, it's easier at that point to get access to the children. Now, this process is called grooming. Sexual offenders usually don't rush through the grooming process, but take their time to cultivate and build relationships with members of the church. This way they can, again, have more easy access to children. In a special needs ministry, of course, we need to be thinking also about teens and our adults, especially the ones who are nonverbal and can't advocate for themselves. They're very easy potential targets also. But the sexual offender is going to present themselves as someone who's likable, useful, helpful, polite, and caring about special needs adults, special needs teens, or special needs children, whatever their target audience is. And remember to be on the lookout for the 4 typical strategies that a sexual predator employs. 1, he or she likes to give extra time and attention to their victim. You may have 5 adults in the classroom or 15 kids running around that classroom. The sexual predator is someone who's going to try to devote most of their time and attention towards their potential victim. The other thing is, the strategy number 2 is they do special favors for their victims. It may be a birthday present or a birthday card or some acknowledgement of some special event in the child's life that they don't do for any of the other kids or teens or adults for that matter. And then they always try to be alone with the victim. Watch for volunteers who are always attempting to use one particular child or teen or adult to be the one that goes to the closet to help them to get supplies, or is always volunteering to go to the restroom with them. Anything that would put them alone with that victim in a place where other people won't see them is the 3rd strategy. And then the 4th strategy is child sexual predators typically start to groom the parents of the child, teen, or adult, or the caregivers. We talked about grooming a little bit earlier in the church as a whole, but then they employ these same tactics when it comes to the parents or the caregivers of their victim. Once the sexual predator has gained the trust of the majority of people in the church, what conformity studies show is that very few people at that point will disagree with the majority opinion about this person. And that works in the sexual predator's favor because at that point, it decreases the odds that anybody will speak out against that person when they see something that they suspect. So here's the preventative measures. Always make sure that you're implementing the 4 strategies that we talked about in our training each and every Sunday that you volunteer, or Saturdays for respite, or when we're out doing outreach. The first strategy is this: knowledge and awareness. Knowing what to look for and having an awareness that sexual predators are out there. Don't kid yourself and don't pretend that that's not the case. Knowledge and awareness, a number 1 strategy. Number 2, always adhere to our 2-person rule. We strive to always have 2 people or more present each and every time that we serve so that there's always another adult within eyesight. The 3rd strategy is built into our facilities. Every room that we have has a window. Our sensory room has a Dutch door where the bottom remains closed, but the top part always remains open. That way, at any given moment, somebody can walk by and see and hear what's going on anytime. And then the 4th strategy that we employ, of course, are background checks and character reference checks. Everyone that comes through the ministry has a background check, and we do character reference checks on the forms that are filled out in the volunteer application. You know, I've always heard that the best defense was a good offense, and I think that's true in this case. Make sure each and every Sunday that you volunteer in our special needs children's rooms, our special needs teens rooms, and our special needs adult rooms that you're employing the strategies that we talked about in our training that are located in your team member volunteer book and the ones discussed on this particular video.